Hello and welcome to Kelly Loves K-Pop. I'm Kelly. Today we're doing a reading on A.C.E. It's a group personality reading, so I'll be going through each member and I'll do a tarot reading about their current energies at the end. I know they're about to have a comeback, or might be happening today. I'm not quite sure when it's supposed to happen, but I know I've been seeing their teaser images and they look really awesome, so I'm excited. Let's see. As always, tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only, so please take everything with a grain of salt. It's just for fun. It's just my intuition and reading the cards, okay, guys? So I do try to look up all of their astrology signs and see, you know, where that connects into the reading. It helps me. I try to find the best information sources that I can, but sometimes they are wrong. So if I am wrong about any of that, please feel free to correct me in the comments. I always appreciate getting the correct information where I can. But I do try to find it. So the internet is the internet. Sometimes you can trust it, sometimes you can't. But all right, let me go ahead and shuffle these cards up. You know, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you, and you know, be sure to hit the like button, and if you enjoy my content, please subscribe for more. I do a lot of personality readings, I do a lot of career readings, I do a lot of ideal partner readings, which is the closest thing I do to a love reading. Otherwise I don't really snoop on people who are dating, or people, you know, I don't do ship readings or anything like that. So otherwise, we got a lot of fun content here, and I'm always looking to do you know, new styles of reading. So if you have any suggestions, please feel free to leave those too. I'd love to hear what you think on ways to make the channel more fun and more interesting. You know, it's June, so we got about 3 more months. It's about 3/4. We got about 3 more months until we hit our 1-year anniversary. So this channel's already been going much longer than I thought it ever would. So thank you guys. All right, for personality readings, I generally draw about 6 cards per member. Sometimes if one more jumps out, we'll go ahead and keep it, but that's rare and it doesn't happen every time, so we'll see. I'm sorry that the angle keeps changing. I'm trying to find the best way to record these for you, where you get the least amount of glare and the most amount of best vision. But my actual arm that holds my camera is dying, so I may have to, if the camera is moving for you throughout the video, I apologize about that. My equipment's starting to get old already. So okay, so the first member we're going to do a reading on is Jun. Or is it Jun? You know, I should have looked up the Hangul, but I'm pretty sure it's Jun. Let's go ahead and pull our cards. That one wanted to come out right when I said that. Let's see. Some people have, you know, wild cards that want to come out on their own without me having to pull them. That one's too many cards. We only need 2 more cards. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Nope, that's 3. All right, so Jun's one of the few that will get an extra card. Oh, cute. Okay. Cute. All right. Alright, so we have father, and it's kind of in the neutral position. So while he is like very supporting and I don't know if he's the leader of the group or not, but while he does seem to be a source of like stability for the members, he does take like their losses personally. He does kind of blame himself for a lot of their failures. So I do kind of get that leadership energy from him. It does seem like that pressure and that stress weighs on him. He kind of lets it get to him. He's very protective, so he kind of maybe feels like he could do more but doesn't quite know what he can do. So it's like he's in this, I kind of get the feeling it's not necessarily, I mean, the card is the father, right? But the feeling I have for him is necessarily that he feels partially responsible, but also like he's very limited in what he can do. And I don't know if it's just like the company or just the members kind of look at him too close. Like sometimes if you're too close, then they just look at you like a friend and like a brother, and not necessarily like a leadership role, and they don't listen to you maybe as well as they could. Kind of already get a chaotic energy for them. Okay, so yeah, so I see him having some struggles with the leadership position, or I know maybe it's because he's not the eldest. I know he's not the eldest member, and there may be some conflict there. Not bad, but it's just almost like he doesn't get listened to maybe the way he wants to, and he also kind of blames himself maybe for not speaking up more when he could. It's kind of that energy. Like he wants to be more authoritative, but it's like he can't. So then we have Gnosis. Again, this is like kind of building off of that. This is kind of like overthinking things. He tends to take a lot of stuff personal. He can feel kind of helpless or overwhelmed pretty easy, even though I feel like he doesn't like to show it. He's very probably, well, we'll get to it because I think this is how he covers it. He like masks it with humor and a bit of stoicness, but he feels, or he has a tendency to overanalyze and overthink things and blame himself. He puts a lot of it on himself. He puts a lot of it on his own shoulders. So then we have Eros in kind of the neutral position as well. It's like being kind of in love with the idea of love, but not having like a realistic basis of it, because he's right in between kind of like the romanticist and the playboy. Like he kind of wants what he can't have. He chases what he can't have. He wants attention, but he doesn't want too much attention. He wants intimacy, but he also wants his freedom. He's in this weird place when it comes to romance right now that he just really can't. Again, like it's like what he really wants, he knows he can't have it, but at the same time he's confused on what he wants. Maybe it's more he's kind of confused on what he wants. He's still figuring out how partnership and stuff like that really works, because I think he's used to getting attention from people easily, but once he gets it, he can't keep it. He can never really like deliver even on his own expectations, and it's probably just because he's too busy, but it's like he wants to be wanted, but he wants to have his freedom. It's a push and pull thing. And then we have the Judge, also maybe a little more positive than negative, but it's still a kind of very neutral position. So it's like compassionate and critical. Like again, this probably comes from if it's not the leadership role, it's like the hierarchy. He's up there. He's maybe not, like, again, he's not the oldest, but he does take his role as like a mentor seriously. So it's like he does try to have patience and understanding and things like that, but like he can have really high expectations, and when they're not delivered upon, he's vocal about it. So I think he can hurt other people's feelings a bit, like he doesn't mean to, but it's out of him wanting the best, him having like really high standards and wanting the best. So if he feels like you're not putting 100%, he's gonna say something, and it doesn't always go over well, but I think he does kind of come back and make up for it, and if there are fights, he goes back in and tries to make amends for whatever he did. Like he doesn't do it to hurt people, but he does realize he does kind of hurt people. So there's a few things that he's still learning. He's still really learning about who he is and what he wants out of life. He seems like, I don't know if it's because of this overthinking quality, but he's still just really learning how to deal with people. Like, maybe he second guesses himself a lot. Excuse me, my allergies and sinuses are going crazy this morning. I'll try to edit all that out if I can. He's got a lot of neutral cards, which is really, really interesting. Usually I get a little bit more positive, negative, but a lot of his stuff is like pretty down the center here. We have the stone. Again, this is like, there's a comedic aspect to him, but there's a stoic aspect to him. But he is very, very committed, like, to his work, to his members. He's super dedicated. He takes it very, very seriously, and I think that's kind of part of his issue, is that he needs to learn sometimes you can relax, sometimes it's okay, you know, to let it go. But it's like he doesn't always know how to like turn this off. It's interesting too with the storm. But yeah, he's super committed. He really just wants the best for the group. Sometimes he just doesn't know what approach to use. You know, maybe his approach can be a little harsh, but he really is dedicated and loves this group and wants to see it do well. We have the storm. Again, it's like a neutral thing, so maybe this is remotely in the past and he's coping with whatever big situation happened for him. Usually I get this card, it's like a death in the family or some big change in life happened for him, probably recently but not too recently, and he's still dealing with coping from whatever that is. It's like he's overcoming it, but there's still like pockets of stress in his life from it. So I don't know if he had someone in the family go through something that kind of keeps coming to him for help, but it's like less and less. I don't know, there's just something where his life keeps kind of getting pushed out of balance a little bit because of something that happened, but it's getting better. It's like it's dissipating, but it's still affecting him a little bit. So I don't know what happened, but he's still got a little bit of like chaos in his life. He can't quite settle, at least not yet. But again, he's getting there. It's like it's almost in the past, but it's not 100% complete, like wrapped up for him. And then this one flew out, and I think this is how he masks a lot of what's going on. Is he's funny, he's silly, he likes to make people laugh. Again, this kind of card is the distraction from the pain and like over analyzing nature, and he either like covers it up by just not talking about it, or he makes a joke out of it. He doesn't like people to worry about him, so he tries to cover it up. You know, and again, this one was mostly in the positive, but we did have some of the negative. So the aspect of this that's meant to be the healing aspect, I don't think he's healing people with his humor. I think he's masking his pain with it. So topics that are uncomfortable, he'll make a joke about it. You know, if the fans are, you know, see him look upset, he'll make a joke about it. You know, he'll do that comedic pouty thing or something. He knows how to divert the attention from whatever is actually bothering him. And it could be that's how he makes up for some of his issues too. If he's overcritical of somebody and then he wants to, you know, lighten the situation, he'll make them laugh, or he'll lighten the mood, things like that. But he uses humor to like mask his feelings, which, you know, a lot of people do. A lot of the world's funniest people are usually really kind of dark inside. So like again, he could have been going through something that was really hurtful for him, really painful for him, and he's using the comedy to kind of mask that. So that's what I have for June. Next up will be Donghan. I have Donghan written. I hope that's his name. I think he is the oldest or eldest member, and we'll see if there's conflicting issues here and if he's the reason why Jin kind of feels a little, what's the word? Like, I don't want to say like, well, kind of incompetent. You know, there's a level of like insecurity there about his position or what he says being taken seriously. And if, you know, sometimes it's the elder member, you don't want to disrespect them or something like that if what they say goes against what you think. So there's kind of that energy. Now, I'm not saying it is Donghan, because for Jun, it could be other people around them. It could be management. It could be a lot of other issues that are stifling what he wants to say and stifling him from being heard. I'm just kind of curious if it is the group hierarchy. And we'll see here when Donghan's personality comes out, how that might work together. Because Jun has a Pisces moon and Donghan is a Pisces. So I would think they both kind of have soft sides. You know, the Gemini, like, kind of analytical nature, I think works against Jun for being kind of, you know, his soft, dreamy side. But Donghan has a Pisces. I don't know. So maybe he has a Taurus moon, so he could be more a bit stubborn, especially when it comes to how he feels about things. Okay, Donghan. Cut the deck here. Okay. So we got the Judge again. So again, I do think he also seems critical. More critical. Like, yeah, I do think that Taurus side is a bit stubborn for him. And if you do hurt him, he's harder to get to forgive. So it may be like, he does seem like that Taurian nature is like, kind of forgives but doesn't forget, and might actually bring it up again, you know, depending on the mood. So yeah, he can be more judgmental. He can be really he can be rather like firm and unmoving in the way he feels. And then we have the womb in more of a neutral position. So it's like he's not the warmest person, but he's not really cold either. It might just really depend on who you are and how you approach him, or how his mood. He's got a bit of both, which kind of lands him in a pretty like even keel personality type, you know. Like I said, he's not overly nurturing, but he also doesn't like leave people out to dry. He cares. He just maybe isn't always the best at expressing it. And kind of like his mood may greatly affect how he reacts to situations and people and things going on around him. We have the Seed, and a more positive but still fairly neutral, is creative, self-motivated. So creative in times, but may suffer from a lot of creative blocks too. Stress may really shut him down on his creative side. There's like a moodiness to him. So if he's in a bad mood, it could really stifle his creativity. So he just needs to be careful about who he lets like affect his energy. I don't think he's really in a toxic situation, so he probably is pretty good. But if he does get in toxic situations, it could really like zap his creativity. So it's just something for him to look out for. He has Eros in a very positive aspect, so he's very very into the idea of partnership, very into the idea of commitment, very into the idea of like soulmate and true love. Like, I think he probably isn't ready yet, but when he does, I think he'll settle down and that'll be it for him. I don't see him bouncing around partner to partner. He'll just pick his person. He'll just pick his person and he'll do everything he has to do to make that work. Like, he has a very stern commitment side when it comes to love and romance and that kind of thing. I don't think he plays around too much. And then we have the Destroyer in pretty neutral. I think it deals with this like seed. He can be really excited to start projects, and then if his mood changes or someone says something, he can just want to throw it away. Like, he's like, oh, you've soured my mood, you soured me on this whole thing, I don't want to do it anymore. Because once someone kind of hurts his feelings or whatever, it's hard for him to put that aside. It's hard for him to feel excited and committed about the project again. So there are certain things where I don't want to say he takes it to heart, because he won't feel like he did anything wrong usually. He'll just feel like that person was rude and he doesn't want to look at them, or you know what I mean, like they've made him mad, so what's the point? Like, there's a bit of, it's not defeatist, it's like, again, it's like almost unforgiving. It's unable to reconcile things if he feels disrespected or not taken seriously. So he could be the one that's like just a little hard to move, hard to convince to change things, or if he's not good at something, it's hard to make him want to do it, right? He just, I don't want to say he feels embarrassment, but he'll just have a negative association that he won't be able to let go of certain things. Then we have Thanatos in a mostly positive light too. So he's well educated. He can be compassionate. Again, we see he has like both sides. If he hasn't been like turned off by a person's, you know, attitude or things they've said, he will do a lot for that person and not really ask for things in return. He's also got a side to him that I think really enjoys changing his style a lot. Like, he likes exploring different styles of fashion, different genres of music, going different places. You know, it's like he likes feeling like a whole new person. He likes like getting to experience the world and cultures and people, and like becoming a different person, becoming a more well-rounded, you know, educated person. He really enjoys those kind of things. You know, traveling, reading. I see him kind of that kind of person that just finds all of the, you know, things the world has to offer culturally, and just really interesting. Like, that really floats his boat. You know. So yeah, Thanatos has to deal with like transformation. So anything that like reinvigorates his, again, creativeness or sense of self, it changes his worldview. He's really into that. So then we have Wow. But yeah, so Wow. Let's see. In Wow, he's the reverse of Donghan. He's a Taurus sun and a Pisces moon, from what I've looked up. I think he was the one with the blue hair in these teasers, and well, I think Byung-hwan had some blue clip-ins too, but I think Wow had blue hair as well. It looked really cool. I'm so interested in this comeback. I know for Goblin, they had really cool teaser photos too. Like Ace's like creative marketing team is like on point. So let's see. I keep getting this Judge card, no matter what I do. Okay. I mean, and it makes sense. People that are around each other can gain similar traits, but also, again, he has that Taurus sun, so the Judge kind of suits him. Especially it's a lot in the positive. But we'll start here with Gnosis, and again, he's another like student, but he kind of likes fantasy, and can see him loving Harry Potter, loving Game of Thrones, you know, just like really into that stuff. He might like enjoy cosplaying. And then with the deep knowing with the Gnosis, it's almost like he probably has like a very nerdy, geeky, you know, just rattle off lore from his favorite series and things like that. Like when he likes it, he knows all the details, you know. You know, that person that can quote all the Harry Potter movies or something. Like he's that guy. Which is real cute. And then he has a Judge and a positive, so it's like just and fair aspect to him. So he may be the mediator a lot. If members are fighting, he's probably the one that they come to either, you know, see who's in the right, who's in the wrong, or he's the one that'll speak up and try to like diffuse situations. Because I think he trusts his sense of right and wrong. You know, knows everyone really well, knows what their like sensitive spots are, and he tries to sort out what the true issues are and that kind of thing. Like he wants to. He's got like a lot of Libra energy there. Maybe his ascendant is Libra because he just really wants everything to be okay. Everyone to make amends. Let's just work it out. Let's high five, hug it out. Like it's very that. You know, I could see him just trying to smooth everything over all the time. We got the Siren. This is like the Temptress and Kpop card. Like I'm not gonna say that he's not like that in his personal life, but I do think, especially maybe with fan service and stuff, he's one of the flirty ones. They're probably all flirty, but I feel like he's especially flirty. I feel like he would be one of those people that really enjoys the chase. He really likes, like, I want to say making people like squirm, you know what I mean? Like, and he may not even be one of those people that's really vocal. It's hard to tell because I kind of feel like it also may be like from stage as well, where he just likes to hear people scream. You know, like there's something about it that feeds him. Like the primal elements of it really like feed his energy and feed his need to keep going. Like he almost likes the power of it. Like his little ego just loves it. So yeah, I think he enjoys being like sexy or sexy concepts and seeing people get worked up about it. I think he's into that. You know, there's a home fatale aspect there. And then we have the Pilgrim in neutral. Again, this kind of plays with a little bit like he's got a non-committal aspect to him where he likes to have fun, but he doesn't like his relationships to get too deep, at least right now. He wants to experience all there is to experience before he makes too many choices. You know, it's like he may be more one of those people that doesn't like being I'm always like looking for the wrong word. He likes his freedom. He really wants his freedom. He doesn't want to be chained down. He doesn't want to be overly committed to any one person. he enjoys doing whatever he wants when he wants, and having his freedom to experience things as they come to him. And then we have, so he has the eternal child, and this kind of speaks to him really kind of living his life for himself. It touches on these other cards that he's very non-committal. He wants to go out and do what he wants when he wants to. He doesn't really like rules or too many obligations outside of obviously his group. He's worked really hard to be part of this group, so I don't think this is really speaking to that, but it is speaking to his personal relationships where he might be a little flaky. You know, he might say he's going to do something, and then if that day he doesn't feel like it, he just kind of does what he wants. So there's a little bit of immaturity sometimes that gets in the way for him, that you know, he'll grow out of that. He's still young, so he just doesn't have a reason to right now. So he's going to enjoy kind of just doing things for himself and not being obligated to other people. And then we have the Destroyer in the shadow. Out of everyone, he may be the one it's the hardest for it to him to be like self-motivated. He may he may have a bunch of ideas that he never quite gets to because they're either he can't organize his thoughts in a way that cultivates, you know, his creativity or whatever it is he's trying to make happen. He likes to be creative, and I think he does do his own projects, but I feel like for every one project you get out of him, there was like 20 that he just didn't even start because he talked himself out of it. And it's like almost like, oh, this, I want to do this, oh, it's not going to be cool, oh, no one's going to like it, oh, never mind. It's almost like he talks himself out of it. And it's like there's a self-sabotage thing if it's not just like the coolest thing he can think of. So it's like he does get things done, but man, he has to like really get out of his own head, and really like not compare himself to other people. I think he compares himself a little bit too much if he wants to do something and it's like, no, that sounds like this, no, that sounds too much like that. I mean, he just needs to be careful. So that's what I have for WoW, and then we'll do Byung-Kwan, our double Leo, which I think, which no one is surprised. Byung-Kwan liking attention, liking to talk to people, liking the drama, like Leo suits him. I don't know how, like, all this other like earth and water energy, him I think being the only, yeah, I think he's the only fire sign, and he's like extremely fiery. I feel like he's a lot for the others. But they're also just like, let Byung-Kwan do whatever he wants, and we'll be here when he's done. You know, I think they do view it as like a positive thing, but man, they just like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like, just, he's got a lot of energy. Oop, okay. We'll keep that. That already sounds a lot. We got the Pilgrim and the Light, which is just saying like, he talks a big game, but he can back it up. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He knows how to, you know, he's a great dancer. He's really talented. He knows he's talented. And he knows he's smart, and he knows he's capable. So, like, the Pilgrim speaks to being able to go out and do anything you put your mind to. And I know Byung-Kwan feels that. Truly. Man, we got Eros again. These boys, man, like I said, I don't do love readings, but they're out there. They're out there. Okay. But this also, I think, can speak to the fire energy, because I'm seeing a lot of like fire up here. Okay, so again, we talked about this one. he's not intimidated by anything. He's gonna go out there and do what he wants professionally. He knows he's capable. He knows he can do it. He knows he's as good as any other idol out there. That's just his ego. He's a Leo. They have the ego. And then we have King, mostly in the light. So he is, I do think he looks at himself as a born leader. He may not be the one that's telling everybody what to do, but I feel like he gives out a lot of ideas. He's just like overflowing with creativity and ideas and suggestions, and it's just like nonstop. Like he's just always like thinking, what can we do? What can we do better? What would be cool? What can I do for the fans? You know, like he's always going. I think the only negative, you know, here is that it can be overwhelming, I think, for the others. And we kind of touched on that when I was shuffling. Like he's go. And it's great ideas, but sometimes it's like, all right, well, let us work on these before you start throwing out more stuff. So even though he's not the leader, I think he comes off as like the mascot, or like his energy just is gonna come through, whether he's the leader or the center or whatever. Like his energy is just huge, and you can't stifle it at all. So he kind of takes that center of attention. And then we have Eros in the positive, or in the light, and it's just being very extremely passionate. He, you know, and Leos are extremely charismatic and complimentary partners. They make you feel good about yourself. So I do think he really tries to like boost up everyone around him. Like, and I think he's very like affectionate. He's very complimentary. I feel like he's very affectionate, and like I said, everything he kind of does, he does from a place of like passion. So like, if he doesn't like you, you just don't exist. You know, he's not giving you any of his mind. But if he does care about you, he's just like always checking on you. He's very touchy-feely. Like I just get that. Like he's just like, you're important to him, and he has to like constantly be solidifying that relationship. And then we have the Forest, which backs up the Pilgrim. It's about exploration, adventure, getting out there, trying new things. It does kind of speak up to kind of feeling a little bit alone. So even though he seems like the type of person that would be an amazing solo artist, I feel like he's got a little bit of fear about that. He doesn't talk about it. He probably won't show it. And if he does do solo, he would never probably let you know that he was scared, but he does. He does have some insecurities there. That I think he feels safe in the group. Like he feels like he operates better that way. But he definitely wants to get out and tour and meet people and just like do all the things, like just travel the world. We have the One. This one is in the shadow, and I think it's because he can be, again, he's got a bit of an ego. He can be a little power hungry. I also think he can feel slighted. Like if he's doing his best and he doesn't feel like he got the credit for it, I think that does really like hurt him. You know, like again, his ego can be bruised pretty easily. Again, like I said, he'll do his best to just not acknowledge people, but if it's someone he looks up to, you know, it's like certain people can really hurt him. Like people he's close to can really hurt him, probably more than they think. They think he's got this big ego, he's got this big personality, like he can take it, but actually he can be upset by those things, and he'll like seclude himself until he feels confident again. You know, it's like he may not hold the grudge, but he'll be like, okay, well, I'm not talking to you for like a week until I can move past this and I feel more myself again. So yeah, there's an aspect when he's hurt, he isolates and he needs time to heal, but he doesn't, it's almost like he works those issues out for himself. He's really good about I want to say like processing his emotions once he kind of is away and out of the spotlight. He'll work through it pretty good. And then we have the maiden in the positive, or the light. And again, he's really enchanting. He's full of vitality. You know, the maiden is really about that like springtime of your life, that youthful learning energy, right? You're the embodiment of like learning about the world and growing as a person. Once you start talking to him, he really kind of can win almost anyone over. He has that like, again, super charismatic aspect about him. But yeah, he's full of energy. He's constantly learning new things, trying new things. Again, full of ideas. And yeah, he also has all that fire energy. It's about like ready to like birth projects and your art, you know, out into the world, right? It's sending that out. It's creation. So that's what I have for Byung-Kwan. Like I said, I think that all suits him pretty good. It's basically what I think we all expected. And then we have Chen. So I'll do Chen. We have a double Capricorn, a double Leo, and a double Capricorn. So these are the two that I'm like, okay, how they get along has to be really interesting. I see the Capricorn, I mean, they work hard. They're really into their work, but social expectations can be kind of lost on them sometimes. So it's like, I can see this one. I can see Chen being the loner of the group, like off on his own a lot, because I could see him being like easily overwhelmed by the Geminis and Leos. And actually that makes me think that Jun and Byung-Kwan probably get along quite well, because they're all about exchanging ideas. Chen, our poor little double Capricorn, I feel like he's very, I don't want to say overwhelmed, because I do think he feels like everyone in the group looks out for him, but I just feel like he can get his battery, his little introvert battery, run down by being around everybody else. Okay. Oh, he's got the same issue as Jin, actually. Okay. Hope these are all in the thing. So he's got the vessel and mostly positive. Again, so he's the deep thinker. He's the more like stable personality. He's probably like there with Donghan, where he's a lot more even keeled. Like, you know how he's gonna react to things. You know what he wants out of you. His expectations are pretty practical. He's very practical. But, and also if you could talk to him, you know he's going to give you like good advice. Even though I think he's the maknae, he probably gives the best advice out of everyone, because I think he tries to look at things from a very logical and practical perspective. And I think some of the other personalities need to be like brought back to reality sometimes. So actually he's got a great role here now that I'm thinking about it. So when they are talking, the Pisces nature and the Leo nature can be kind of grounded by him. So actually I think he has a really important role in the group behind the scenes, where people can, you know, overanalyze or get too into their emotions. Like, wait. this is just about this. Don't take it too deep. Don't run away with it. The temple in reverse tells me, I feel like he may come from a family that's really religious, but he's not. But he can't like openly express that. I feel like there's some issue there around him and religion, where he's not as connected as I think he has to make people think, or he's not as pious as he has to make people think for some reason. It feels to me like it's family, like he has familial expectations of him there, and he just kind of goes along with that. So people think he's extremely religious, but him personally, he's not. He's more accepting, I think, than a lot of people he has to be around outside of the group. And then we have the father. Again, we have it kind of in that neutral tone where he can take his failures like very personally. He can beat himself up a lot. If he's not progressing as fast as other people, like I said, I can just see him wanting to like go to the studio and like work on things away until he can come back and show his growth and his improvement. It's really something like he does beat himself up over it, but he also is the one that's going to go and like work extra hard, and that may be an issue for him if he's like feels behind on some things and he's putting so much time into it, he's like ignoring other aspects. Like I don't want him to hurt his health or overwork his body because he feels like he's behind on something. And he could kind of get tunnel vision on like, I need to work on this, I need to work on this, I need to work on this, and then he's not eating, he's not sleeping. You know, unfortunately a lot of people in this business kind of do that when they feel not as up to par. So there may be like, again, some aspects even in the group that intimidate him or make him feel not as good, and he almost tries to overcompensate there. When I don't think he's as behind or untalented or any way as much as he thinks he is. It's like he magnifies it in his mind. And then we have the unseen. So again, this is like reclusive, likes to work alone. Again, like he can feel insecure sometimes, I think, about his talents, and he likes to practice them by himself. Like I think he feels like he gets more done when he's not worrying about how other people view what he's doing. When he can work on it on his own, I think he feels like he's more comfortable that way. So he's just reclusive. I could tell right away he's kind of the introvert. So that's really what that's speaking to. The flame though, he may have some anger issues. Could be another reason why he likes to be a little reclusive. If he gets angry, I don't think he likes to show it. I think he like compartmentalizes and represses some of that anger. There's an aspect of him that likes to be perfect. Like does not want to show any weakness, even though he's the youngest of the group. I don't think anybody expects him to be perfect all the time. But there is just like he hides like any negative feelings. He just kind of wants to hide those, and that's not good because that just makes it fester and you're not dealing with the issue. Which is funny because like I feel like he wouldn't follow his own advice. He would tell everybody else, just talk about it, talk it out, this is what's going on. But when it's him, he doesn't want to appear like he also needs his own advice, so he like swallows it. He just hides those feelings. And it may be also an aspect of like, again, the hierarchy works against him, and maybe there's aspects where he can't talk about it because it would be uncouth. So that might work against him a little bit there too. So he bottles up some of those feelings, but I do feel like he's got a little bit of an anger issue. He tries to hide or doesn't want to take out on other people. So he finds other ways to vent it, or doesn't acknowledge it, which is also bad. He's the gem. I feel like he's got a lot of interests, and I think he's really creative. He's gonna, I think he's going to surprise people by what he can and will do. So he's kind of reclusive, so he may not show everyone the things he's working on until he feels like they're ready. And I think it'll be really surprising because he's not super vocal, I think, about what he's working on when he's working on it. He just finally, when he finally sees it's ready, he's like, oh, and I did this. And likes to see everyone like, oh my God, you know? So I think when he does do songwriting or you know, if he breaks into acting or whatever, it's going to be kind of a surprise where people are like, I didn't even know he was into that or he could do that, you know? But he's like, I've been practicing, you know? So yeah, I think he's got some surprises. He's got a lot of talent that he hasn't even shown people yet in different areas. So he's definitely one to watch. You know, some people are just very loud about all the things they're into. He's not loud about it, but when he's ready, he'll come out and he'll really surprise people. So that's what I have for their personality readings. Of course, I'm going to do a tarot reading now on just like the current energies. I'd like to know like how their comeback is going to do. So we're going to go ahead and put these away and I'll get the cards out. I believe these are called the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. These are new to my collection, so I'm excited to use them. I don't know if many of you know, but a couple of weeks ago I went on vacation to visit some friends in other states and did kind of like a little road trip. And when I did, we stopped at some stores and I went a little crazy on buying all the tarot decks I wanted. So you'll see some new decks on the channel for a little while I break them in and start using them. If anybody wants a flip through of any of the decks I'm using, feel free to let me know and I'll do another flip through video. Oops. So, all right, let's go ahead and Ace. What are Ace's current energies? How are they doing? Whoa, okay. How are Ace doing right now? This is impatience for the Seven of Discs, so that's not surprising. Well, all right, so there's some good and some bad here. Again, they're impatient. I don't know if this is because they won't get, you know, a win. This is like the Six of Wands is usually like your victory card, like also being recognized for your work. It's like they're almost not, so they're gonna be a little there's gonna be some disappointment there where I feel like they think they deserve a win and I don't think they're gonna get it. If it's not like wins, it's just definitely just like recognition from the general public. I think they're trying so hard, and I just think it's like small companies have it really, really hard getting out there. I think they're seeing it happen for some other groups, and I don't know if they were offered opportunities they didn't take because they didn't think it was going to be, or because of their company they didn't get offered the same opportunities. I low-key do feel like something about the owner of their company has bad blood with some of the TV stations. I don't know why. I don't know if they were involved in some shady stuff in the past, or whatever company they came from is kind of blacklisting him in a way. I mean, that's kind of not what's going on in this reading, but I kind of always feel that when I look at Ace for some reason. I do see the Ace of Wands, and it's funny because that could totally represent them in a way, but I do think it's like there will be, from this new opportunities, I think, even if they don't get the recognition from the general public, I do think industry people are going to want to work with them. more. They're going to see something in this comeback that is going to offer them more creative opportunities. Maybe it'll be other artists that want to work with them. They've been working with some international artists, and being that we have the Two of Wands here, it may be more opportunities for international artists that are coming out of this comeback. Prince of Swords, though, this is our, generally speaking, this is our Knight. And the Knight of Swords is like, usually it's about something coming quickly, but in reverse, maybe it's like a time constraint where there's opportunity, but they have to take advantage of it quicker than they would want to. It's like, you can do it, but you got to do it now. You don't have much time to get it done. So it could be like a time crunch issue for this, whatever this opportunity is, that it'll happen quick, maybe right after the comeback, or something maybe even during the comeback, and they're going to overwork themselves a little bit, which I hate to think, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But yeah, it's like a really great creative opportunity, but it's like there's not much time to do it. The Hierophant, the Five of Disc. Again, this is like almost, I always read the Hierophant a bit as like gatekeeping. It can be like mentorship on the upright. It can be like people kind of helping you along your path, but they have so much extra obstacle for them. But the Five of Disc is about feeling that power dynamic and that struggle. So it's like they do feel kept out. They feel like there's a glass ceiling on them, and it's not fair. So it's really, I hate seeing small companies going through this, but again, I feel like there's an issue, something with the person who owns this company. They're trying to work their way up, but they just know how they're sitting now. At least I feel like in Korea, there's only so high they're gonna be able to go, not, you know, if they don't get more recognition. The Hangman in reverse is about sacrifice. Ooh, okay. Playing on that with the Two of Wands and the Moon is like, I think they had hopes to tour again, and they just can't right now, and I don't know if it's like they had dates and they're going to cancel them or push them back. Because there's like, the Moon is about searching for answers but not having them yet. It's like there's some kind of unsurety or some kind of like like someone can't guarantee something they need. Two of Wands is about planning. Usually I see this as like planning to go overseas or to tour. It could be Japan. I just feel like, and it could be in Korea too. I'm not sure. I know with everything coming back right now, booking is like extremely hard. Korea's always been like really limited in venues, and mid-sized groups trying to move up to bigger venues is really, really hard. Just because there's so many groups. And if a bigger group decides to go touring when you're going to tour, they're going to get it. They're going to get the bigger venues. So it could be that they have to sacrifice certain tours or certain venues, or something they were going to do overseas gets canceled, like K-Con or something like that. Like, because there's something that can't be promised or guaranteed to them. There's something just it's too unstable or something. Let me see if I can pull any more on this Moon card. Yeah, I mean, the stability. So again, it's just that it's unstable. It's like maybe they can't promise that they'll make very much money, maybe because they have to get paid per ticket or something on this one particular show. If they can't guarantee certain sales, they can't do it, or they'll have to cancel it or reschedule it or something. Yeah, this is about, again, not knowing how your money's going to come in. So if they did it, they'd have to basically do it and being willing not to make money. Being okay with being at a financial loss if they did it, and I just don't think their company's going to do that. So touring or certain international shows are kind of still up in the air for them right now, and I don't think that's weighing on them because they just want to progress forward so bad, and they're running into a lot of blockages, and so this summer is going to be hard on them. I think mentally and physically, there's going to really be working really hard and not seeing a lot of returns, but I do feel like their time will come, but they're just still not there yet. And I just think it has to do with, you know, the pandemic made people a little bit more selective on who they can support. But I think we're going to start seeing a lot of groups operating in different fashions. A lot of kind of the gen right before them are starting to do military service, so some groups are going to do hiatus, some groups are going to operate in units, and they're not going to be as prevalent touring and things like that. And I think that will open up some stuff for ACE maybe in the following year. Maybe 2022 will be better for them. Maybe around the fall this year I'll start doing some like upcoming year predictions for some more groups. I'd love to do it for ACE. I think they're definitely going to be on the come up, but this year maybe still be rough for them. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to see it get recommended to more people. I don't see a lot of ACE readings on YouTube, and I think they deserve some more. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Please take care of each other and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.